Hello and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. I'm so happy you're here. My name is Karen and on my channel I like to post a ton of beauty content. If you love hearing about new makeup, I'll post my 2022 makeup playlist at the end of this video for you to enjoy. If you want to support my channel, don't forget to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and turn on that post notification bell so you're notified every time I post. Today I have a first impressions video with a palette that I have been dying to get my hands on. So if you're interested in seeing swatches, hearing my first impression thoughts on the new Be Perfect Love Notes palette, then just keep watching. Okay friends, I am so excited. I did go ahead and swatch this palette and do some close-ups for you guys to check out. But before I do that, let me just tell you really quick, I love Beaute Bay's $20 eyeshadow palettes. I think they're so interesting. I really enjoy the color stories, and I feel like they really just put in a lot of detail into these palettes. So I'm so excited that they launched something new. It's been a while since they launched a palette in this format, so I'm here for it. Now let's go ahead and get into all of the close-ups. Love Notes. Step into a hazy daze and become obsessed with the Love Notes palette, featuring 20 shades that are wearable for every day while still allowing you to get creative. You're going to fall in love with this palette time after time, ranging from soft lavenders to playful florals and sparkly pinks. Let us introduce you to your new makeup suitor. Okay, so I'm going to give you the shade names here with the swatches. The first shade is a brow bone type shade for me. This is called Corset. Then we have an even lighter shade called Cotton. Chandelier is a beautiful lilac pink gold duochrome shade. Angel is a pretty light pink shade. Then we have Cheeks, Mahogany. Candlestick is a beautiful gold. Soap. Bellini is a pretty gold pink duochrome. Flush is a matte pink. We have Pillow, Lavender, Princess. And then we have Handkerchief, which is another matte pink shade. We've got Cupid, Lilac, Spark, Glove, Confetti, and Ruby. And those are all of the gorgeous swatches of this palette. Okay, I hope you enjoyed those close-ups. I just feel like this palette is totally giving me Bridgerton vibes. Even the concept and just the way the description of the palette is written, or just like old school love, which is beautiful. I'm just very excited to play with this palette. I was contemplating different looks. I kind of want to do like a lavender look just to go with my shirt and stuff. I don't always match my clothes to my makeup look, but when I saw this palette in the promo shots, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to wear this particular shirt, the one I have on, with this palette when I do the look. So I think I'm gonna just do one look on both eyes, and I'm gonna start off with the shade Soap, which is a really light pastel lavender shade, and I'm just picking it up on a ColourPop brush. I'm gonna try and use as many shades as I can, but I think this look is definitely gonna focus more on the purple side. Okay, so I got that shade blended into my crease. Next, I'm gonna go into another lilac shade in this palette called Lavender. Oh, it's called Lavender, not lilac. Get it right, Karen. Okay, so I'm gonna put that also in the crease. I just want to build up all of the purple shades I can, just to see how they perform. Did you guys see yesterday's video? Oh my gosh, I had so much fun putting that together. I will link it up in the cards for you guys, but it's my 3 looks video with the new Angelica x Oden's Eye Hella palette. I am so excited for the launch, you guys. It's been so fun reading your comments. I mean, it's not my palette, it's my friend's palette, but I'm just so excited for her, and I'm so excited to see how excited you guys are, because as a creator, I feel like it's such a cool thing that Angie got to do another palette, and it's such a good palette. Oh my gosh. So anyways, I hope you guys are ready. I just love that palette so much. Sorry, I had to tell you guys about it in case you guys missed it, but a lot of you seem to have been really enjoying that video. So thank you so much for checking that out. And now I'm going to go into the shade Lilac, which is a really pretty like pinky purple. And again, I want to throw that in the crease as well. I just want to add as many shades as I can. I'm trying to use the mirror in the palette, but I'm so used to my Simple Human mirror that I can't stop looking at it. I will say that these lighter purple shades, they're definitely different from each other, but on my skin tone, I feel like blending them in, I feel like I don't need to use all of them. I feel like any of these shades would kind of look similar on the crease, so maybe if you're a lighter skin tone, it would show more of a difference, but I'm sure on camera it's probably picking it up better than I can see it in real life. I want to try the shade Handkerchief in my crease as well. It's like a pretty pink. I kind of want to brighten up the crease a little bit. Okay, that looks good. These are all really subtle, I will say that much. I wonder if kids in 2022 even know what a handkerchief is. Like, is that a thing? I know it because back home when I was growing up, we didn't have Kleenexes like we do here in the States. So I always had a lot of handkerchiefs, and I had such bad allergies as a child. I would go through multiple handkerchiefs in a freaking day, and it was such torture to sneeze as much as I did because we didn't have those like nice Vicks Vapor Kleenexes that we do now. So if I was sneezing, my nose would be in so much discomfort because of the material just like scratching up my nose. Do you guys know what a handkerchief is? And if you have little kids in the room with you, ask them if they know what a handkerchief is, because I want to know if kids in 2022 know what a handkerchief is. I guess I'm not around a lot of kids, so I don't know if they know what a handkerchief is. Okay, sorry, I'm just really just going on about a handkerchief. This is not blending well. I'm a little bit disappointed, but I think it's also because I put down so many matte shades and now my primer is not gripping the dark shade, and so it's getting harder to blend it. I can try and pack it on, but it definitely looks patchy in person, which I think is my fault because I got a little overzealous and I wanted to put all of the eyeshadows on the crease, and I should have just stuck to the one shade in the crease and then use this on the outer corner and not dried out my eyelids like that. Okay, I think that looks good. I'm gonna stop there and try not to overdo it. And now it's time for the lid shade. So I want to use a few of these different metallics. I'm gonna start off with this shade called Pillow, which is a pretty like silvery purple, and I'm gonna put that on the inner corner. Oh my goodness, this is so pretty. I'm not wetting the brush because I remember these shades being really kind of soft and really good at foiling, and it looks like that seems to be the case with this shade at least. So I'm just putting that in the inner corner. Next, I want to use the shade called Princess, which is a really pretty purple kind of color. These metallics, they make my eyelid look wet. Okay, and then finally I'm gonna go into the shade called Spark, which is a really pretty, just like a purpley shade, and I'm just gonna use that to blend into the matte purple shade called Glove. So I used about 8 eyeshadows to create this eyeshadow look. I am gonna do the lower lash line now, and I think I'm gonna do like a red lower lash line just to add some contrast. Okay, so I'm using my favorite red eyeliner from ColourPop. Okay, so I'm using my favorite Nabla pencil brush, and I'm gonna go into the shade Handkerchief, and I'm gonna pick up a good amount, and I'm just gonna run that on the lower lash line. Next, I'm gonna go into the shade called Confetti. It's like a pretty pinky shade, and I'm just gonna add some sparkle on the lower lash line, focusing on the inner corner. And then I grabbed my Bridgerton highlighter, And I'm just gonna grab a little bit of that on this brush and throw that in as the inner corner highlight shade, just to give this a little pop in the inner corner. So that is it for the look. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the rest off camera, and I'll be right back to show it to you. Okay friends, so here is the completed look. Let me go over really quick what else is on my face, just so you guys know. So I have been loving this I Need a Nude lipstick from Natasha Denona. I believe this shade was limited edition. It's called Amorosa, but oh my gosh, if you have this and you haven't used it in a while, it's like the perfect Valentine's pinky nude shade. I'm really enjoying this. Then as far as face products go, I'm wearing both of these mixed together. So I have the Jaclyn Hill Skin Perfecting Blurring Tint in Medium Tan and the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation in the shade Syracuse. So both of these together make a really glowy combination, and I figured I'd try that out today. So that is what the foundation combo is. And then for bronzer, it's my go-to combo. I have the Rare Beauty Bronzing Stick and the Charlotte Tilbury Powder Bronzer in the shade Tan. Highlighter is from the Pat McGrath Bridgerton collection, and I'm wearing the pink blush shade in the Bridgerton blush palette from that collection as well. And then I also decided to pull this out. I found this ColourPop Cutie marker. I think this is from a previous Valentine's as well, and I figured I'd throw some hearts on today just to be super duper extra, since I was totally in the Valentine's spirit. Now, before I give you guys my first impression thoughts on this palette, I thought it would be fun to talk about some comparisons, maybe show you guys some dupes that you might already own so you can skip purchasing this palette. Also, I did check, I think sometime this week, and this palette is sold out, so even more reason to find yourself something that you can use instead. So the first thing I thought about was actually this little Juvia's Place palette. This is the Violets by Juvia's Place, and I feel like this has just a nice lilac lavender type shade and then some really beautiful metallic. And I like the Juvia's Place formula, so I just wanted to mention that. And I also grabbed this one if you're into those more mauve shades that are in this palette. This is their Mauves palette, and this shade is a really pretty duochrome. So that is on the more affordable side. I also wanted to mention a really pretty purpley palette from Viseart. This is the Violet Étendue. I feel like this palette has some really beautiful purple shades, and you can do a really pretty look with it. And then if you want a more cool tone look, you might have this one. This is Cashmere that they launched last year, I believe. Okay, I also grabbed the Bridgerton Pat McGrath palette. These are really not anything alike, but if you have this, and it kind of has that like same romantic vibe as far as the packaging goes, so I just wanted to show you guys that side by side. I think another fun palette that you can use instead is going to be the Dollhouse palette by Blend Bunny. I really like this Blend Bunny formula, so I would say that this would be a good dupe. Plus you get way more shades and lots of color options compared to this one. And of course I had to whip out the OG purple palette. This is the Norvina palette by ABH. Just want to show you guys side by sides on that. And then I felt like there were a lot of dupes to the Huda palettes in this Love Notes palette. So here's Mercury Retrograde. I know a lot of you picked this one up during the sales that they had over the holidays at Sephora, and I will say this one has just a little bit more of an interesting twist with those blue shades that they added. Of course, I love my Huda Beauty Rose Quartz palette. I know a lot of you had picked this one up over the holidays as well, so maybe you want to use that. And then my last Huda comparison is the new Nudes. This one's definitely more of a pinky tone situation, but if you're trying to dupe the vibes, if you're on a no-buy this year, maybe you want to consider trying to mix and match some of those palettes you already have. And then I wanted to show you a comparison between the Natasha Denona Retro and this palette. Obviously, this one's more berry tone. This one's definitely more purple leaning, but there are some berry shades in this palette. And then the newest little guy from Natasha Denona is the Mini Crush. And I do feel like some of these shades are in the Mini Crush palette for sure, and you can definitely create a very pretty pinky eye look with that palette. So if you already have that one, you don't need this Love Notes palette. although the Love Notes palette is more affordable than the Natasha Denona. Okay, so now I want to show you last year's palette called the New Romantics palette versus Love Notes. And honestly, I thought I liked Love Notes better, but now seeing them side by side, I feel like I really like New Romantics better as far as color story goes. It's much more vibrant, which I feel like would work better with my skin tone. So yeah, I just wanted to show you guys some comparisons that you might already own. And now let's talk about my thoughts on this palette. I'm laughing because I'm nervous, but I feel like I have a pretty good idea that I really am not happy with this palette. I don't like how those mattes blended. If you guys could see this eye look up close, I would be so embarrassed because the mattes just did not perform as I expected them to. I had a hard time with that dark shade, the purple called Glove. It did not blend well with the mattes. Now, like I was trying to explain when I was doing the eye look, I think I layered too many light matte shades on before I went in with the dark color. I think if I had just chosen one matte and then went in with the deeper shade, things would have been fine. I find that with the Beauty Bay formulas in general, it's hard to blend multiple mattes on top of each other. Some formulas just do that better than others. And so I think with this one, you just want to keep it simple and use like 3 shadows, which is what I usually do, but I wanted to try and test out as many shades as I could. So I kept layering them and I just think it was too much. I think I should have done less blending and I should have just used less shades, and I think the eye look would be better. I definitely need to test this out more in the future, but I swear I feel like you're not missing out if you skipped out on this palette. I was so excited because, like I said, I usually get along really well with these palettes, and so I was so pumped to have a new palette from Beauty Bay. But honestly, I feel like you can rest easy if you didn't end up getting this one, and I feel like a lot of you did skip out on it, so you saved yourself some money is all I have to say about that. I think that's everything though. I don't have too much else to say about this palette other than it's not my favorite, and I think it's gonna rank pretty low in my February monthly rankings. So we'll see what else February has in store for me. I do have a new video coming tomorrow. I'm going to be testing out some new to me makeup, as well as trying the Oden's Eye X Angelica Hella palette again in another video. So definitely make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on that video. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye guys.